Applying to foreign universities can be a daunting process. What makes it worse is that you probably will be doing this only once in your lifetime, and it is quite normal to make some mistakes. Now, in this video, I'm going to tell you about the most common mistakes which can cause significant harm to your prospects. If you are a current master's applicant or a prospective one, you don't want to miss this because you'll likely fall into one of these pitfalls. So watch this video in its entirety. The first is the most common mistake, and in fact a blunder that I see a lot of applicants making. That is the recalculating of the GPA. Now, educational institutes in America calculate their GPAs on a 4.0 scale. Therefore, there's a standard assumption among international candidates and Indian students that they have to convert their GPAs to that 4.0 scale. There are a lot of random conversions that students do using formulas that their seniors have suggested, or by using some sort of a direct conversion to figure out what their GPA means on a 4.0 scale. This is a massive mistake because a vast majority of universities in the US don't even require you to convert your GPA from your native scale to a 4.0 scale. In fact, they say explicitly that you should not do this. If universities ask for that conversion, they suggest the tool to use as well. They might suggest the WES evaluation, which can be expensive, or some universities nowadays are suggesting Scholaro, which is a cheaper alternative. However, unless explicitly mentioned, please do not do this conversion because you will likely do it wrong. The most common conversion mistake I see students doing is a direct conversion. For example, if they have a 70% out of 100 in their undergrad or a 7 GPA out of 10, they assume that their GPA out of 4 is a direct conversion of a 2.8 out of 4. It does not work like that. The conversion has to be scaled appropriately. You'll have to understand that a 3.0 GPA out of 4 in most cases means a passing grade. Therefore, if you completed your education within the stipulated time of 3 years or 4 years without too many backlogs, you will most likely have a GPA that is above 3 out of 4. Also, if you have a 9 GPA plus, you'll be very close to a perfect 4.0 and it's not a 3.6 like you'd assume. Please don't make these conversions and short sell yourself, because if you make that conversion and fill that in the application form when the university is not asking for it and you put in a lower GPA, you might be rejected straight away. So this is a massive mistake which I urge you not to make. Check if the university is specifically asking you to convert and only then do that. Now, the next two sections have something to do with the compliance and filling of the applications. The first part revolves around your transcripts. Now, understand that transcripts are very different from marks memos, and every foreign university will ask you for transcripts and not your marks memos. Most students don't understand the difference between transcripts and memos, and they go ahead and upload these memos on the application only for the university to reach out later asking for the specific transcripts. Now, this won't lead to a direct rejection, but it will delay your review process, and perhaps other applicants will have their applications reviewed and accepted or rejected first, which is not a situation you want to be in. Hence, make sure that you go to your university and ask for transcripts specifically for foreign university applications, and every single university administrative section will be aware of what you're asking for. Another additional mistake here is sending couriers to universities with your transcripts. Now, those days are gone. If you upload a scanned copy, it is absolutely fine. If they need sealed envelopes with your transcripts physically, they will ask you for it only after you've been granted admission. Along similar lines, we have the reporting of your test scores, specifically your GREs or your GMATs. You'll have to check on the university website whether the university is asking for official score reports. Only if they're asking for official score reports do you have to go to the ETS website, pay the fee, and then send your score reports to the university, which might take a week to 10 days. If the university is saying unofficial scores are accepted, then you can just upload the PDF score report of your GRE or your GMAT on the university application portal, and you don't have to spend money in sending the official scores. The contrary is also true though. If the university is asking for official scores and all you've done is uploaded on the application and not reported your scores through ETS, it's going to delay your application process, which you do not want. Be sure that you have this piece of information for every university that you're applying to on a neatly formatted sheet. As you keep filling your applications, another big mistake that I see applicants making far too often is waiting to send their recommenders the LOR email. When the recommendation letter is uploaded is immaterial. It can be uploaded while you're filling the application, before you submit the application, or after you submit the application. it is important that it reaches before the deadline. Hence, the first thing you should do is to trigger the email that asks the recommender to upload the LOR in the appropriate place. You can do this the first day you begin to fill your applications. Therefore, the recommender has ample time to upload the recommendation letter. If you do it at the last moment and wait till you finish everything, there is a chance if the recommender is not reachable that they may not upload it by the deadline date, which is not an ideal situation to be in because the review of your application will be stalled again. Hence, get your recommendation letters uploaded as soon as possible so that the things that are out of your control are out of the way. Okay, so I know that this is a lot of things that can go wrong and perhaps sending a negative message to you, but that is never the intention with our videos. Hopefully, if you watch this content, you're going to avoid a lot of mistakes. Now, if you want constant updates from our end, a platform where your doubts can be cleared, and ensuring that throughout the next year and a half as you go through this process, you're not making these common mistakes, you can do a couple of things. So listen very clearly. The first thing you can do is you can join our fall 2026 and spring 2026 WhatsApp groups. I will be on that group, the entire Gradvine team will be on that group, and we will be answering your questions. Keep in mind that this is only for fall 26 and spring 26 applicants. If you are applying for earlier intakes, you will not be allowed to enter the groups. But if you are a future applicant, please go in. Now, if you want your queries answered immediately and want access to the best informed team in the market which has delivered remarkable results, you can do that for absolutely free by scheduling a free consultation call using the link in the description below or by going to www.gradvine.com. If you don't have access to the internet, in which case I don't know how you are viewing this video, you can always call us on 9000081081 and our team will answer. Now, the next section of this video deals with the selection of universities, which have to be very, very nuanced. You will have to understand that every university, whether it's a top tier one or a middle tier one or a safer university, overall has different characteristics. Some are GPA centric, some are work experience centric, some may be prioritizing something else. Therefore, when you're picking ambitious universities or safeties, applying for GPA centric universities with a lower GPA or applying to universities where work experience is favored more than a GPA when you don't have the work experience is a futile exercise. So within the same tier of universities which have the same reputation and career outcomes, you have to understand which university favors what aspect of your profile before putting it on your list. If your GPA is great and the rest of your profile is a little so-so and you don't have too much work ex, maybe applying to a GPA-centric university which is top tier makes a lot more sense. Similarly, there's so many other permutations and combinations involved. Therefore, applying to universities which prioritize a factor which you don't have in your profile is something that we commonly see while universities are shortlisted. So please be careful while making this decision. Continuing on this theme, again, the selection of your safety schools is a very, very common blunder that I see a lot of students making. Most applicants are either applying to too many safety universities because they're underconfident or don't know what the acceptance rates are for the individual program, or they're applying to safety schools in the wrong location. For the first part of it, if you're applying to too many safety schools, you're just wasting your time and money. There is no point sitting on 4 or 5 acceptances and feeling happy about it because at the end of the day, you can pay the deposit and go to only one. Therefore, applying to 1 or 2 safeties is absolutely fine, and understanding your prospects and likelihood of getting into each program is incredibly critical. Along the same lines, a lot of students blindly look at university rankings such as global rankings which have no context or have nothing to do with your career outcomes and therefore apply to safety universities in a country in very, very bad locations. You have to understand that whether it's the US or even certain other European countries, you want to pick universities which are in great locations in terms of the industry and the surrounding job ecosystem. If you're going to a university which is not top tier, you want the surrounding location to work towards your advantage. Additionally, there are factors such as co-ops and built-in internship components at a lot of universities, which will save you a lot of strife when you're going to a not so top place. Hence, picking safeties in the right location with the right added features becomes very important. Don't go blindly by rankings. Now, the final point in this series of mistakes that applicants commonly make is something that is a little new that I've been seeing in recent years. That is attempting the additional optional essays just for the sake of attempting them. Understand that optional essays can enhance your application or they can damage your application. Hence, if you see an optional personal statement or an optional diversity statement, unless you have a very compelling background that fits the narrative that adds value to the personality that you're bringing to the class, don't attempt these essays, because if you write an inferior essay there, then you're exposing your weaknesses unnecessarily to the admissions committee. Hence, if you only want to show your strengths, stick to the documents where your strong points are there, and don't simply attempt an essay for the sake of attempting it, assuming that you'll impress the admissions committee overall. You have to pick these strategically. So there you have it, a compiled list of common mistakes that we've seen applicants make since the last 8 years in the business. If you found this useful, please do like, share and subscribe so that you keep getting our videos on your feed.